Okay, sometimes in life, your jaw drops. I had no idea Mark Sanchez, USC football star, decade in the NFL, could sing. Last night, Mark Sanchez was revealed as the baby alien on The Masked Singer that airs Wednesday on Fox. It's a big hit show, and Mark Sanchez can sing. And when they awarded it, we'll show the video as we bring Mark Sanchez on. So, Mark, talk under the video. So I'm just going to ask you. So you were in choir in high school. You knew you could. But how come you didn't sing? How come I'd never seen you before?
So I try to keep those karaoke performances private. But that song, "It's Time" by Imagine Dragons, I probably performed it at least 20 times at Cipriani downtown in New York in 2010 and 2011. So that restaurant, after games on Sundays when we'd have a home game in the afternoon, I'd go there sometimes with guys on the team, sometimes with just friends in the city. But the restaurant closes kind of early, like at 9:30. And they let down this ladder outside, like on the street, like a fire escape ladder. And you go upstairs and there's this club. And you get a table. It's, 15, 20 tables. They have a DJ. They have a professional male singer and female singer. They give every table microphones, and you sign up to do karaoke from where you're at your table. You don't have to go on stage. And if you suck or you're really drunk, then they just turn down your mic and add the mic from the professional singers that they hire to be there for 4 or 5 hours. And, they kind of drown it out so everybody sounds good. Well, I would always request, Mr. Jones by the Counting Crows, some Sam Cooke songs that I really loved, and Imagine Dragons, "It's Time." And me being the competitive jerk that I am, after the performance and after the night's over, I go and ask the singers and the DJs, like, "Hey, so was that like mostly my mic, or you guys a little bit and then mostly me, or what was the ratio?" I was always very curious. And so they're like, "Hey, you're not bad." And so I feel like they were just being nice, but I felt comfortable with the song and felt comfortable in the environment, and it was a great experience.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. It's just one of life's surprises. Mark Sanchez can not only carry a tune, but he's a performer. It's great. So it's very interesting. So Nick Saban, because of COVID, can't coach. The line changed 2.5, 3 points. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Sark's the assistant. Sark's been a head coach. And I'm thinking, go back to when you were in college. If Pete would have missed a game, would it have affected you? I mean, he had the system in. You had you had great players, NFL guys. What was Pete worth to you? Like, what would Pete do that maybe an assistant couldn't at USC?
That's a really good question. I feel like he was such a good delegator of authority and wanted to let his coaches coach, right? He didn't want to micromanage, but he did have this way of, maybe he didn't know every single offensive play call and couldn't, install the offense, but he knew it so well. And then it's like understanding the themes of a game. Okay, we're backed up. Yeah, we're going to do a hard count. We're going to try and draw them off sides. Okay, that's pretty easy. Third and long, backed up in our own territory. We're going to be conservative on this play. And he would get on the headset and kind of say stuff like that. Like, "Hey, we're going to take care of the football here, right?" Just making sure everybody's kind of on the same page. Or, here's our 3 2-minute or 2-point plays, a crucial 4th down play, got to have it play, game on the line type plays. These are our 3, boys. What do we like? And so he's constantly in dialogue. Or, "Hey, we're going to take a shot here, right? Defense, we might get a turnover. If we get a turnover, offense, go for it. Take a shot, man. Blow the top off." Little things like that, right? So he would keep everybody on track, which sounds like the way Coach Saban, when he did that interview yesterday in his press conference, is exactly the same way. And so I don't think they're going to miss. I don't want to minimize his coaching ability or his presence on the sideline, but he's trained them so well. And this is a credit to Coach Saban, not a criticism, that these guys are ready to coach, especially somebody like Steve Sarkisian. He's had that experience. He knows how to win. He's played in big games, coached in big games. So this is second nature to him. I have no doubt that Alabama's going to look just fine. I mean, they put up 700 some yards of offense last week. I have no worries about that. The only thing that I'm not worried about Sark, I'm worried about the defense, man. They're giving up points. They can't stop a nosebleed. Yeah. So they got to figure it out on defense first.
I want to talk about, like most of us knew, you know, we can tell, like Andrew Luck, most of us knew that kid's kind of unique. John Elway kind of level. And Trevor Lawrence has that kind of feel to him that it'd be hard for him to miss. He's just, some kids are just the genetics, whatever it is, they're just kind of built. And then you get guys like Justin Herbert, who we nitpick to death. You know, you're sitting here, well, he's a little mechanical. And we forget that the Oregon offense was kind of conservative. I thought he was going to succeed, but I have been shocked how good Justin Herbert has been. He's just very much a let it rip, let it go. Are you surprised? You saw him play at Oregon a lot, Mark. Are you kind of surprised how effective he's been this quickly?
So a little bit surprised, no doubt. I can't lie and say I knew this exactly was going to play out this way. But he was never challenged at Oregon, right? It was like, okay, what's he good at? He can run around. He's big. He can throw the ball down the field. And then we're going to do some of these little Mickey Mouse screens and, you know, easy RPOs and stuff like that. And they kind of kept him in that box. They didn't develop him, right? Like some of the quarterbacks back at USC with the pro-style system, these quarterbacks that Coach Sarkisian's putting out, like they didn't develop his potential, right? He's got, the sky's the limit for a kid like this. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, he's tall, he's smart. I mean, he can play. And so now he's in a system where they're challenging him to throw the ball downfield, to make throws in tight windows, to get to a second, third, fourth read. And he's doing it, and he's only getting more and more consistent doing it. So I'm thoroughly impressed with them. And I think this is just a result of understanding the kind of talent you have and then stretching him, getting him in uncomfortable situations, seeing how he responds to it, much like the Masked Singer, Colin. I mean, I had to get uncomfortable. I had to stretch. I had to grow. And you go out there and you give it your best shot.
I love your analogy. I always say about Russell Wilson, my sister doesn't care about sports. And then Russell Wilson happened. I grew up in the Northwest. And she's like, all Sunday, she's texting me. And there is a certain magic, maybe it's his religious conviction, that he can literally play poorly. And then against the Vikings in a rainstorm, in the most crucial moment, he's flawless. And I want you to take, we got about 3 minutes. That is very hard to do. That is very hard for a quarterback in crappy weather to say, you haven't had the stroke today. You haven't had the, now's the biggest drive and you're great. What do you think that secret sauce is with Russell? Because he does this a lot.
Pete Carroll. I guarantee you. So Russ has that innate ability. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of this that's Russ. A lot of this is Coach Schottenheimer putting him in good positions. It's a lot of the same. I'm texting Shotty the other day when they're playing against the Miami Dolphins, and I said, did I just see you run Act 4 Cobra Dancer, like the second, third play of the game after you got the interception up the sideline to DK Metcalf? And he goes, it was actually hinged, but it converted versus cloud. So same play. Yeah, Dancer. I'm like, dude, you guys are running the same stuff. It's not like something crazy, but Shotty has understood, and credit to him, that when he gives Russ a play, that's not necessarily what's going to happen. That's just like an essay prompt. Russ is going to take this thing wherever he wants. And they trust him to do that because he's been in these situations now before with Coach Carroll, understanding rule number one, the ball is most important. So he's really molded and adapted himself to be a lot like Pete Carroll, and he had a lot of those qualities anyway. So Coach Carroll harped on us that you can't win the game in the first 3 quarters. You can win it in overtime and in the 4th quarter. That's it. That's the only time the game's over. So I don't care what happens before that. We can win this game, and we will win this game, or we're just going to run out of time. So you never lose, right? That's Pete's mentality. And he has this incredible ability to convince you of that. And now Russell is just living out that conviction, right? So Coach Carroll would also say, like, before he knew enough about coaching and understood who he really was, what he really wanted, what it was supposed to look like when someone came to his practice and saw his team play, he went and saw Rick Barry speak. And he spoke for an hour, whatever, took questions, whatever. And Pete ran up to him and was grabbing on him at the end of the talk. And he says, you know, how do you come back when you have a bad start? You know, you miss your first 10 shots or something. How do you reset? What's your mindset? You know, and Rick said, well, I don't know. I'm a 30 or 40 whatever % shooter. So if I miss my first 10 shots, you better look out because the numbers even out and then I'll be on fire. Yeah. So Pete took that, internalized that, inculcated that, and now he's living that out and preaching that to his players. He preached that to us, that no matter what, something good is around the corner. Quarterback, you throw an interception, something good is right around the corner if you're tough enough to hang in there and let it play out the right way. So that's what we're seeing from Russ, and credit to him and Pete Carroll for that perfect marriage.
So great having Mark Sanchez around. Look at that. What a life. Singer, football analyst.
I want to know what Joy said. What did Joy say?
I saw it on your Instagram stories, and I was in shock. Like,
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you're on The Masked Singer. That's like,
What do you mean? What do we mean? Of course we're shocked.
We should be shocked.
She
That's the
said
point
it
of
like,
the show.
I didn't know you could sing.
No,
Joy.
I knew you could sing, but that's that's very intense.
Yeah.
Like, I would be very nervous to do that.
I can sing,
can't
not in
sing,
front of
so
people.
They're not asking me to do that show.
We all sing, just not like that on a show.
I appreciate it.
Mark, it's great
cool.
seeing you, buddy.
Great to see you too. Thank you.
All right, Mark Sanchez, good dude, former NFL quarterback. Yeah, I mean that's like performance. Like you stand singing in front of people. You gotta be. That's vulnerable.
Listen,
you
he's talking about like not doing Dancing with the Stars. That's like crazy too. When Jason did that, and I saw it in person, I'm like, oh my God, no. It's crazy. Like those shows are so big, and the production and like it's wild.
It really is. He's a performer.
Yeah.
Upgrade of the wiper blades trusted by those in bad weather. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades. Walmart has them. Last 2 times longer than other blades. Cam Jordan of the Saints, one of the great pass rushers in the NFL in the last 10 years. Smart dude. He's going to be joining us as we move to hour 3 in the herd next.